Welcome to Fein Dining. I'm Jen.
And I'm Drew. Today we're going to try something new and let you know whether the dining is fine or should be left behind. So what's on the menu?
So today we have an interesting treat from Trader Joe's.
We love Trader Joe's.
We love Trader Joe's. So today's treat is cheese empanadas with cassava crust.
Cassava crust.
I think the cassava crust is the cell. The cell is the cassava.
Sell me on this cassava crust, Jen.
Okay, so I think the main thing that it's supposed to appeal to is that it's gluten-free.
Uh-huh.
Other flours are not, as we know. And the cassava crust is low in fat, low in sugar, and low in calories.
Sounds like a power food to me.
So, it was only $2.99 for this very cute little box, although I'll get back to the box later. I like the size of it. There's only 2 empanadas in there.
Ah, dos, as they say.
Yes, it's just a little box. I don't think that you would eat it for dinner. I think it would be more of an appetizer or a snack.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how many calories is in that?
Unless you ate both of them, maybe.
Yeah. How many calories is in the whole box?
In the whole box is 370.
Yeah, that's...
So, yeah. But it does say that a serving size is 1 empanada.
That's a little small.
Yeah. So, we have the 1 empanada here that we're going to try.
Let's do that.
Okay. I'm going to cut it in half and see what it looks like in the middle.
It's exciting and a little terrifying.
Yes.
As a lot of things from Trader Joe's are.
In the best way possible.
In the best way.
Okay, so it kind of looks like a ricotta cheese, looks-wise.
Yes, that does not look...
You see that?
That looks more Italian than...
Yeah. You should have this one because it has the crusty little part on the top, and you love that.
Okay. You don't have to tell me twice.
Okay, so it might be easier just to pick it up rather than to use our forks.
You know I love to eat it animal style.
There we go.
Utensils. We don't need your stinking utensils.
Okay, so...
Smell?
Yeah. Give it a sniff. It's got a cheesy kind of savory smell to it.
I smell crust. I smell cheese.
Yeah.
It's not very strong of anything in particular.
No.
Doesn't smell bad at all.
No. It's just mild kind of.
Yes.
Okay. So we want to take
Let's take
our
a bite.
taste test? Okay.
I have an opinion about this.
You do?
I do.
You go first.
I'm going to go first on this one just because I want to be first out of the gate, if we agree.
Okay.
I think that tastes like a whole bunch of nothing.
Really?
I think that I'm into mild and I'm into subtle, but the cheese isn't doing anything for me and the crust isn't doing anything for me. I mean, this is just functional. It's not bad at all, but it is not bringing anything to the table for me personally.
Okay, so...
Let's disagree.
I disagree a little bit. Now, I don't think it's out of this world, but I definitely didn't get nothing. But you know what I got mostly was salt.
Oh, well, salt is...
I don't think that it is very salty, though. That's what's weird. Well, okay, yeah, it kind of is.
What's it got?
It has 490 milligrams of salt.
Okay, but for a frozen
per
item,
empanada.
I mean, I bet a Hot Pocket has more than that.
Oh, well, yeah, a Hot Pocket definitely does.
Right.
But it's like, to me, it tastes like a salty cheese with a semi-crispy crust of some kind on there.
I would not use the word crispy to describe that. That
Really?
was softish.
Oh. Well, it had
Also,
a little crisp on the outside.
Does that look like a lot of cheese there? Because
No, it's not. But I mean, you wouldn't want a whole bunch more because then your crust cheese ratio would be off.
it would be off. That's true. And I wouldn't want double the amount of cheese because the cheese doesn't taste like anything. So it wouldn't...
Okay, I'm reading the box.
Okay, read the box.
First of all, on the front of the box, it says that it's filled with cheeses. It doesn't describe which kind of cheeses.
Bland ones.
Caramelized onions.
There's no indication of caramelized onions.
'Cause
Caramelized onions are one of my favorite things in the world.
Yes.
It makes everything in the world better. That is trace.
I don't see
I don't
see them.
No, I see spinachy thing. I see cheese.
Okay, so also filled with cheeses, caramelized onions, and spinach. That's what the green flecks are in there, is the spinach. I think you're being a little mean to it.
I mean, only because it's a Trader Joe's new item.
Yeah,
It had
yeah.
some cool words in there. I just wanted it to be, if I was at a party and somebody handed that to me as an appetizer, I'd eat it. It's fine. But it's not a crispy crab cake or something.
Okay, so I was right about the cheese. The main cheese is ricotta.
I like ricotta.
Okay, and then the next ingredient is caramelized onions.
Yeah, that's what it needs. It needs that kick of, or garlic or something.
No garlic in here.
It's like this half measure between a Latin dish and an Italian dish, but it's...
And we love both of those things.
But it's a half measure on both of them, and it's not succeeding.
Okay, so it also has mozzarella, which can be kind of boring depending on how it's done. Spinach, and then the cassava crust. It doesn't have a load of ingredients, so if you're into that short list of ingredients, you'll like that about it. But okay,
it's a whole food, a whole bunch of nothing.
Okay, well then, with all of this said, let's give our ratings.
Okay.
I think it's decent, but not great. I think I'm going to give it just a high 5, right in the middle of the road.
Oh, okay. So you're agreeing. That's where I am. I mean, it's not bad at all. There's nothing offensive about this whatsoever. The thing that offends me is its inoffensiveness. Oh,
okay. So you're giving it the same as me.
Yeah, I mean, like...
The way you were talking, I thought you were going to give it a 3 or something.
It is fine. I mean, there's nothing inedible about that at all. It is fine. There's a million things that are better. So I don't see... maybe we're not gluten-free.
True.
So maybe there's way less options in that regard. And if you haven't had gluten in a million years, maybe you're like, oh, this is bringing a gluten taste.
Because some people say that the cassava flour is closest to regular flour.
Right.
And I guess if you were missing it in your life, it might taste kind of good. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so we're giving it the same rating?
Yeah.
High 5?
Well, mid 5, because I have to go lower. I mean, I do feel lower about it.
Okay.
I feel low about the whole experience.
Oh. Well, I would say, and this is always important when you're giving something a rating, I don't think I would buy them again.
No, I mean, I'd rather have a good, authentic, cheap empanada, or I'd rather have a big, juicy calzone stuffed with onions and cheese and spinach, and that would hit the spot. But
this reminds me actually to tell you guys that here at Fein Dining, we're big fans of this shape of food. Meaning we love dumplings, we love pierogies, we love empanadas.
We do.
We like anything, and we love like hand pies.
Who doesn't love a hand pie?
Something like that.
You take a piece of dough, you stuff cheese or meat or something delicious in there. Yeah. Every group of people has a version of that. And all of them are pretty decent. And
yes,
like
they are.
This is disappointing, and it's still a 5 because you can't mess it up. Dough and delicious filling.
Yeah, it is. And it's like these, as you saw, they were easily pick upable. It has this sort of, I mean, we love all that stuff. Pot stickers. of every kind, basically.
Hey, when you were looking up about the cassava, there was something weird in the Google results.
Okay, yes. So I looked up about the cassava. I was pretty sure that the attraction to cassava flour was that it was somewhat healthier than, your average all-purpose flour.
Yes.
Wheat flour, I should say. It's an alternative to grain flours. And so I wanted to look up to make sure I understood everything about what cassava was and everything. And you know how when you're Googling something, it says, people also asked, and then it lists a list of questions. Okay, so one of the questions about cassava flour, if you Google it, is cassava flour a girlfriend?
A girlfriend. Is cassava flour
a girlfriend?
I don't know. Like, in my college days, I spent a lot of time with, like, some White Castle burgers, but I don't think I'd ever consider them a girlfriend, per se. I think that's crossing a particular line that you don't want to cross. Okay, seeing a lot of each other is as far as you can go.
Right.
So, survey says...
Okay, so don't you want to know what Google said the answer to is cassava flour a girlfriend?
I do.
Yes. The answer is cassava flour is a grain-free, gluten-free, and dairy-free. Oh, wait. Cassava flour is grain-free, gluten-free, and dairy-free, making it a perfect substitute for... Weren't you waiting to hear what the substitute was for? For grain flours in paleo baking.
That didn't say anything about the girlfriend part.
It didn't. That didn't make any sense to me at all.
Google didn't provide the answer, but I will. Cassava flour is not a girlfriend.
Not a girlfriend
of mine. It's just not. Almond flour would probably be a better girlfriend, but... probably a little nutty. Nutty. Almond flour. And with that.
Okay, I have a few more lessons before we go.
Teach us, Ms.
Okay,
Jen.
about the cassava, because, as I was Googling, I found out some things. And, my one experience with cassava before, we'd had these chips that were made out of cassava.
Oh, yeah. We didn't agree on those chips.
Right. Well, we did. I didn't think I liked them.
Right.
Oh, you liked them.
Right.
Okay. So we had some chips that were cassava chips. And to me, they had that, they had that whole packing peanut texture to them.
Right. She says packing peanut texture like it's a bad thing. But I think a delicious packing peanut. As a child, I probably was like,
I would eat this.
Oh, these are bland. But if you put,
some ketchup on it.
Put some ketchup on it, season some cheese on there. A cheese doodle is a packing peanut.
Well, okay, yeah, that is kind of, but you know what I mean, right? There are these like healthier chips that have a bit of a...
It's a little dry.
Styrofoam.
It's a little airy.
Yeah. And not even like in the Munchos way, but in like a packing peanut way.
But you get a lot per serving because
that's
they're
true.
So light.
They're so light. Okay, so then I started wondering, one of our favorite chip brands is Terra.
Yes.
They have like root vegetable bags, different flavors. There's like the original one though. And I wondered, is cassava in Terra chips? So I looked that up, and at first it seemed like no, but then it turned out it was yes, because cassava is also known by another name.
And what is that?
And the other name is yucca.
Yucca?
Yes. Y-U-C-A, which also confused me because I thought it was pronounced yucca, but then I realized that yucca is a whole other plant.
Oh, we're going down the rabbit hole here.
Yes, yucca is Y-U-C-C-A and is a popular plant around here in the southeastern United States.
Those empanadas were a little yucca than I wanted them to be.
Right.
I wanted them to be more yumma.
Yumma.
Yuma?
Yuma. 310 to Yuma. Okay, so anyway, the yucca plant that you see, the yucca chips that are in your Terra bag are also made from cassava.
And
the yucca is the root of the cassava plant.
We love root.
That is your lesson from Fine Dining today.
Root vegetables are delicious.
Yes, they are.
Also, Stephen Root is very good.
Yes. Milton. Otherwise known as Milton.
I'll bet he doesn't like that anymore.
No, that's probably true. He's really made a name for himself among the, the golden age of television.
HBO cameos, y'all.
Yes. He's in the HBO basement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you all have to go Google who Stephen Root is if you don't know that off the top of your head.
You know who he is. You just don't know his name.
He's one of those guys that you will know when you see him.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess we're done with this review.
It seems like we've covered every yucca-related item.
All right. Okay, I know we're done, but I just have to say one more thing.
Okay.
You know how I'm always on about the box and the packaging of things?
Yes, that's so pretty. It's so lovely. It has a Mexican flour on there.
Right.
There's no Mexican flour.
This is a fail, Trader Joe's.
Oh, no.
This box, even if this thing was incredible tasting, you have failed on this box. Because this box is so boring.
Oh, wait. The box does nothing for you. Maybe they knew in advance.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did. But look how dull the colors are. There's nothing appealing about it.
Yeah, it looks like they took 5 minutes in Photoshop and just...
Yeah, and they didn't even do that very well. They didn't even use, the suggested punch-up enhanced photo.
Also, usually there's a bunch of flowery language. Not that that's aesthetic.
And this just says, cheese empanadas with cassava crust.
Filled with cheeses.
Caramelized onions, non-existent ones. And spinach. But then in big capital letters it says gluten-free. But you know what?
What?
That's not even that big. I realize that it's a small box, but they could have blinged it up more.
It's true.
Also, the section that we found these in was over by the kind of like the frozen Indian dinners and frozen Indian appetizers.
And those boxes are...
Yeah, it just blended right in with everything else there. Like, we almost missed them entirely, even though we knew it was a new product and specifically were looking for them.
Yeah, it's like they kind of released it under the radar.
Yeah, and the taste is under the radar
right.
also.
Maybe they did a focus group, and after the results, they're like, maybe they had this blingy box and they were really going to punch it up, and then they're like, let's save that for something better.
Yeah. I think this also kind of seems like one of those Trader Joe's items that you might not see next time you go anyway. Sometimes they do that, where they'll put something out, you try it, and sometimes we love it.
Right.
We go back and it's not there ever again.
This one could wither off of the vine. And
it would be okay.
We will shed no tears.
Right. Okay, so now I think that I've done enough schooling about cassava. We're not going to ban it from our lives or anything. We'll try other things made out of it. It's just that this particular thing might not be at the top of your list to, try cassava.
Maybe third time is the charm.
Maybe so. Okay. So, with that, we will see you next time on Fine Dining.
Fine dining, y'all.